What's going on, guys? Kevin here from thesportsgeek.com, and in this video I'm going to go over my DraftKings and FanDuel NFL Week 11 picks. Last week in Week 10 was probably my best week yet with my video picks, and I look to keep that going here in Week 11. All right, so let's recap the previous week like we do each week before we get onto the Week 11 picks. On the left-hand side there, you can see my solid picks of the week. We had quite a few of them this week. We had Roethlisberger with 31, Prescott with 22, Antonio Brown with 37, Dez Bryant with 26, value wide receiver Kenny Britt with 20 points, David Johnson with 27, and Delaney Walker with a big 30 DraftKings points. And then on the right-hand side there, just the one bad pick last week. We had a couple average picks, but only the one really bad pick, and that was the Jaguars D putting up 2 points. So great week overall. Make sure that you're signed up for my email updates as well. I usually send out extra picks or updates to my picks on Saturday or Sunday morning when I'm building my lineups. If you haven't already signed up for that, click on the lineup tool link in the YouTube description below. And if you didn't watch my lineup review video, it's on my second YouTube channel. I'll link that channel and that video in the YouTube description below as well. So check that out if you haven't already seen it. I just kind of go over a couple of my good and bad lineups from last week. And then I also like to give out some props to people who follow the videos and did well themselves on DraftKings or FanDuel. This week we got a ton of emails, but I'm going to go over a couple of them quickly. This is my favorite here. It's from Denise. She won $25,000 finishing second in this contest, as you can see there in the screenshot. And she's wondering if she's the highest female winner I've seen. Definitely for anyone who's following my videos and sent me an email or a screenshot. So congrats to you. That's absolutely amazing. You can see her screenshot on the right-hand side there. She went with the Roethlisberger to Brown stack. So on the left-hand side there, we have Alex. He won a mini mid-season 3-entry max contest. So I believe this was a $4 contest, and he took home first place for $10,000. Absolutely crazy. He said he's been using Fantasy Labs and the player models, and it's the best $60 he's ever spent. So congrats to you, Alex. And then on the right-hand side there, Christopher, he said he hit that 4-figure payout. You can see there he was in a booster contest, and he won $1,000, finishing 46th. So congrats to Christopher. Congrats to everyone else who emailed or tweeted at me or left a comment in the YouTube comments. And if you didn't win this week, hopefully Week 11 is your week. All right, so moving on to my DraftKings and FanDuel NFL Week 11 picks. Starting off with the quarterback and wide receiver stack, I'm going right back with Ben Roethlisberger at 7,500 and Antonio Brown at 9,500 on DraftKings this week. They're in Cleveland as 7.5-point favorites in a game with a total set at 48 points. So the Steelers are expected to score quite a few points in this one. The Browns are 30th in yards against per play and dead last, giving up 8 passing yards against per attempt. Roethlisberger has put up 25 or more DraftKings points 4 times already this year, and he put up 28 DraftKings points in Cleveland last year. Antonio Brown has put up 20 or more DraftKings points in 7 of his 9 games, and 35 or more DraftKings points in 2 of those games. And he had 39 DraftKings points in Cleveland last year. And although Joe Hayden wasn't playing in that game, I've seen lots of games where Brown has done really well against Hayden. So I'm not too worried about that. The Browns defense has been pretty awful this year. The Steelers were embarrassed last week against Dallas at home, and they're 4-5 now, and I expect them to have a big game against Cleveland. I know they're going to be a popular pick coming off of a game where they both did really well and they won some people some money. Everyone's going to be jumping back on this stack, but I can't leave them out of my picks because I'll be on them quite a bit in Cleveland this week. My second quarterback wide receiver stack here is going to be Andrew Luck from the Colts, who's $7,200 on DraftKings this week, paired with his number 1 receiver, T.Y. Hilton, who's $7,700 on DraftKings. The Colts are at home versus the Titans as 3-point favorites with a very high total set at 52 points. Tennessee ranks 21st in yards against per play, 19th in yards against per pass attempt, and 22nd in DraftKings points allowed to quarterbacks. Luck has scored 20 or more DraftKings points in 5 of his 9 games played, and over 30 DraftKings points twice, including 30.8 when these two teams met in Tennessee 4 weeks ago. T.Y. Hilton has put up 29 or more DraftKings points 3 times already this year, including 29.3 versus the Titans in Week 7. The Colts now get the Titans at home coming off of a bye, so although it will be a popular stack, there's no reason for me not to play it this week. I'll be playing quite a few Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton lineups here in Week 11. My next play here is a running back, Theo Riddick from the Lions. He's $5,100 on DraftKings this week. The Lions are at home versus the Jaguars as 6.5-point favorites with a total set at 47 points. Theo Riddick has scored 26 or more DraftKings points 3 times this year, despite missing 2 games with an injury. His last game played versus the Vikings, he was held to just 8.6 DraftKings points, but in that game, the Vikings did a good job in pass coverage versus Riddick, which is very tough to do. I don't expect the Jags to do nearly as well as the Vikings did containing him. Riddick has seen double-digit carries in every game played this year and 5 or more targets in all but one game. So at $5,100, I think Riddick is a great play this week at DraftKings or FanDuel at $6,700. One of my favorite wide receiver plays this week is going to be Julian Edelman from the Patriots. He's $6,300 on DraftKings this week. The Patriots are in San Francisco as 13-point favorites with a high total of 50.5 points. So the Pats' implied team total is currently 31.8 points, which is just crazy high. Edelman caught 7 passes on his 9 targets for 99 yards last week and has now been targeted 7 or more times in every game that Brady has played. The 49ers ranked 27th in yards against per play, 21st in yards against per pass attempt, and 27th in DraftKings points allowed to wide receivers. So I called Edelman's breakout game last week. He did pretty well, almost got the 100-yard bonus, but he didn't really break out, but I'm going right back to him this week. I expect a really big game from him against the 49ers. My first tight end play here is going to be Delanie Walker from the Titans. I'm going right back with him, even though his price has increased to $5,700 on DraftKings. He had a monster game last week, putting up over 30 DraftKings points, and he's in a great matchup again this week. I kind of talked about it earlier. The Colts and Titans are expected to put up a ton of points. The Colts rank 31st in yards against per play, 26th in passing yards against per attempt, and 29th in DraftKings points allowed to tight ends. Walker has put up 20 or more DraftKings points 3 times this year and double-digit DraftKings points in 6 of his 9 games played. And in Week 7 versus the Colts, he was targeted 8 times and had 7 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. So I don't love paying up for tight ends, but Walker is clearly the number 1 option in Tennessee. I think this game will be high scoring. The Colts aren't very good against tight ends, and Walker has just been a beast lately. So I'll pay up for Walker this week against the Colts. And then I've got 4 more DraftKings and FanDuel NFL Week 11 picks here. Starting off with running back Latavius Murray from the Raiders. He's $5,500 on DraftKings this week. The Raiders are at home versus Houston, but this is the Monday Night Football game, so he will need to be rostered in contests that include Monday's game. The Texans are 22nd in rushing yards against per attempt, and since returning from injury, Murray has rushed the ball 18, 11, and 20 times, putting up 20, 12, and 34 DraftKings points. There's been a bit of a running back by committee going on in Oakland, but after last Sunday's performance versus the Broncos, I'm betting on Murray getting the rock quite a bit here on Monday night and having another great primetime game. Next up, we got a value wide receiver, Tyreek Hill from the Chiefs at $4,500. The Chiefs will host the Buccaneers on Sunday as 7.5-point favorites. This is more of a sleeper pick that I will have lower exposure to if Jeremy Hill is back for the Chiefs. But if he is ruled out, I absolutely love Hill this week. The past 3 weeks, Hill has been targeted 5, 6, and 13 times and put up 2 games of over 20 DraftKings points during that stretch. He caught 10 balls with Maclin out last week and put up over 20 DraftKings points in that game. And if Macklin's out against this week, I expect Hill to get a lot of opportunities again versus the Bucs, who rank 28th in passing yards against per attempt. So keep your eye on the news about Maclin. If Macklin's out, fire up Hill in quite a few lineups. I think he'll be a great play this week. My second tight end here is going to be Martellus Bennett from the Patriots. He's $3,700 on DraftKings this week. And Bennett will be a popular play this week if Gronk is out, which is looking likely, but he's one that I think you have to consider. He's put up 18 or more DraftKings points in 4 games this year, including games of 25 and 30 DraftKings points. Last week, with Gronk playing, Bennett was targeted 7 times and caught all 7 balls for 102 yards and 20.2 DraftKings points. Now he's facing a weak 49ers defense that I talked about earlier, and he's in a great spot and will definitely be in a lot of my Week 11 lineups if Gronk is ruled out. And then finally, my favorite value defense this week is going to be the Dolphins, who are $2,900 on DraftKings this week. The Dolphins are going to face the Rams' first overall pick, Jared Goff, in his first NFL start. This game is being played in Los Angeles, where the Rams have scored just 12.7 points per game this year. And the Rams have had no run game so far this year as well, and that could force Goff into a tough situation versus a Dolphins defense that ranks in the top half of the NFL in passing defense. The Vegas total set at 40 points indicates that this game should be low scoring, and I like the chances of the Dolphins forcing a few turnovers. They've put up 13 and 17 DraftKings points in their last 2 games, and I love the value at just $2,900 this week, even if they are on the road. That wraps up my DraftKings and FanDuel NFL Week 11 picks. If you guys want to win more money this year at DraftKings or FanDuel, I highly recommend you check out the tools over at Fantasy Labs. They've personally helped me win quite a bit of money in the past, and I know they've helped a lot of other people as well. If you want to check out Fantasy Labs, I'll leave a link in the YouTube description below. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you click that thumbs up or like button. It will help support my YouTube channel and let me know that you want me to continue to do these videos. As always, guys, good luck in your contest this week. Hope you win some money. Cheers. If you don't want to miss out on any videos that I post, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. To do that, just click on this button over here. Or if you want to watch another one of my videos that I think you'll enjoy, click on the video image over here.